somehow it is the Eagles who come out of that scrum with the ball and the win. Hurts, a winner. So, Coach, now what?
Kind of gave us a spark as a team that I was looking for, and I think we were looking for as a team. But this win today is not about one guy. This win is about this team and how resilient this team is. I'm gonna enjoy this one. I'm gonna go home and relax and be with my family tonight and enjoy this win and get ready for the week.
All right, so with all due respect, the idea that this isn't going to be about one guy is wishful thinking. And so, Dan Orlovsky, I will start with you. Who starts at quarterback for Philadelphia next week?
Oh, Jalen Hurts. That's an easy question. Doug Peterson said that he needed a spark on their offense, and Jalen Hurts gave him that. I'd argue he was a consistent flame for that offense. Jalen Hurts was the difference for the Philadelphia Eagles yesterday. Now listen, yes, that was the best coached that they have been all year with the way they ran their RPOs and the way they schemed guys up to get open. Most of their offense was run game or the quarterback outside of the pocket, and the defense played really good. But Jalen Hurts was outstanding. He did two things better than, Carson's done this year. One, his decisiveness helped their football team. It got the ball out of his hands. It allowed others to go and make some plays. And then he never hurt their team. His legs said, okay, the flaws of our team or the weakness of our team is our ability to pass, protect, and whatnot. I'm not going to hurt our football team with that way. So you saw a lot of scrambles. You saw a lot of designed runs. And you saw him going, okay, I'm gonna allow my athleticism to be something that our team can utilize. Our team that it desperately needs right now. So he was more than just a spark. He was a consistent flame and a complete difference maker for their football team. He's their starting quarterback next week and for the rest of the season.
It certainly feels that way. So, Ryan Clark, what does this mean? He was supposed to be a lamb being led to the slaughter against this really good New Orleans defense yesterday, and that would have made it a lot easier in some ways for Doug Peterson. Now what?
I'm with you, Greeny. I disagree with Doug Peterson on this being about one person, and that one person isn't about Jalen Hurts, because I can't necessarily say that Jalen Hurts is the sole reason that this team or the Philadelphia Eagles beat the New Orleans Saints. But I can say that Carson Wentz not being the quarterback is the reason they beat the Philadelphia Eagles beat the New Orleans Saints. And you look at the way that Jalen Hurts was able to play. I told you last week, I felt like this was Apollo Creed going to face Ivan Drago at the beginning of Rocky IV, but that's not what we saw. We saw that this defense could bleed. We saw that Jalen Hurts, when pressured on 14 plays, they gained 82 yards because he got outside of the pocket. We saw how effective the designed quarterback run could be, and also the scramble out of the pocket. And Jalen Hurts was poised. Jalen Hurts looked like he was in full command of what Doug Peterson was asking him to do, but everybody else played better. And that's what I mean about Carson Wentz not being the quarterback. Look at the Philadelphia Eagles when they played with Nick Foles, the way the defense stepped up, the run game. We saw some of the same things in Jalen Hurts and the Philadelphia Eagles yesterday. So the question has to be, why is that? Why is our team better when Carson Wentz isn't the quarterback?
Well, that is a question they're going to have to get answered. I will come back to you on that one in a minute, but I did want Rex to ask you, because you had some questions about Jalen Hurts, and you weren't alone. What did he show you yesterday?
Man, everything. It starts, first off, this is a team win. I get it, what Doug Peterson's saying, but it was inspired by one man. And the way he played, the poise that he played with, like I questioned the skill set. Man, oh man. I'm not seeing the big picture. The big picture is this guy's a winner. He's got the poise, and they did a great job with him. Man, it was college all over. He's running zone reads. This man ran for over 100 yards against a team that hadn't had a 100-yard rusher in 55 straight games. So, he was amazing in this game. And for those, is he going to be the quarterback next week? Are you kidding me? The conversation is going to be, is he going to be the quarterback moving forward, including next year? That's what he's going to try to answer. But I was blown away by this young man's performance.
Right. I'm glad you said. I wanted to give you the chance to say it because you had questions, and many people had questions. But so now, Dan, let's go back to the question RC just raised, because it is the most important one. This is the second different quarterback who, if you just sort of lined them up in a draft, would go well after Carson Wentz would go, who has just elevated this team. And Nick Foles elevated this team, and now in this 6 quarters or whatever it has been, Jalen Hurts has done the same. What does that mean for Carson Wentz?
Yeah, I think, first of all, the thing directly is there's something that we don't see going on with Doug Peterson and Carson Wentz. There is something. You know, the play calling was completely different. The feel of that game was completely different. That defense played inspired football. And so, you know, you don't go from one of the better quarterbacks in the NFL and one of the top guys in the world to doing what you do to all of a sudden not being able to do it unless it's up here. Like, there's something with his thought process and the disconnect between him and Doug Peterson. But I will say this, and I said this last week. The more Jalen Hurts plays and plays better and wins football games, the question of can we trade Carson Wentz becomes more realistic. I know the draft picks and the money. I get all that. It's the NFL. Nothing should surprise anybody. And then 2, if people in that organization believe that the draft pick of Jalen Hurts affected Carson Wentz and Jalen Hurts continues to play well, how do you have both of them on your team at the same time next year? I don't see how that's even remotely possible. So yesterday was great for Jalen Hurts. It was incredibly concerning for me when it comes to Carson Wentz.
Well, RC, I can hear you agreeing. I'd love to hear your thoughts. It felt a little bit like the beginning of something yesterday. Did it also feel maybe like the end of something?
You know what? You don't necessarily know if it felt like the end of something, but it started to move that ball toward that way. Because think about it. Before this game, what we thought was Doug Peterson said, I made this decision for a week. It felt to me like the Philadelphia Eagles knew they were going back to Carson Wentz at some point very soon, that Carson Wentz was the future of this team. But when you watch your team play inspired football, when the offense runs more smoothly, when the quarterback that you insert is smarter than your starting quarterbacks, makes better decisions than your starting quarterback, you start to wonder. And so now as the weeks stack and you get farther away from watching Carson Wentz bring this team to a point to where they had no chance to make the playoff, you start to think, okay, we have to move away from him. We got a guy. We have a dude who can take the throne and be a better player for this team. And so now as Carson Wentz sits on that bench and as you see him, Dan is absolutely right. Can we have these 2 dudes in the same quarterback room?
All right, so I want to talk much more about this as we go, but oh, by the way, the Saints, who a week ago we were all saying, oh, they're the best team in the world, all of a sudden they lose a game that I think they won't feel really good about. What was your number 1 question coming out of that, Rex Ryan?
Where was the quarterback designed runs? You know, I wouldn't have been surprised that a quarterback ran for 115 yards in a game. I just thought it was going to be Taysom Hill. I never saw it. We all know we saw Daniel Jones have 2, great quarterback runs against this team. My big question going in here is Philadelphia can't stop the design runs. And I just was shocked that we never saw them.
Yeah. I mean, look at that stat from Hembo up there really quick, RC, because I know you had a thought on this as well.
Yeah, so it's not about getting Drew Brees back. It's about Sean Payton getting out of his ego, about Sean Payton to stop trying to prove to us that Taysom Hill is a regular quarterback, is a traditional quarterback. Let him run. Let him use his legs. The dude is built like the best tight end in football. He looks like George Kittle, and you are trying to make him Joe Montana. Allow Taysom Hill to use his athleticism. The blueprint is there. You saw the blueprint against you. What Jalen Hurts did is what Taysom Hill should do week in and week out. And as long as they don't try to do that, they are hurting this team. And Taysom Hill isn't a guy that can win you big-time football games.
Such an interesting game on both sides. I'm going to come back to it, I promise, because there's more I want to say about it. But let me move forward, because it was a huge day. As we go through the storylines, the NFC has a new number 1 seed, and its quarterback